Hello and welcome to the Ground from CPT channel. Today we're going to be reviewing and instructing on how you can fly and execute properly a localizer approach and ILS landing. ILS stands for Instrument Landing System and relies on a series of radio signals transmitted to and from an aircraft or ground station. The signals utilize two radio signal directional aids to guide the aircraft to the runway, the horizontal guidance for the localizer and the vertical guidance on the glide slope. Together they form a precision approach. Usually pilots will encounter the localizer first, setting the aircraft on course for the runway, and then the glide slope, at which point they can prepare to land as they descend towards the runway. It's a form of precision approach using radio navigation to allow aircraft within a short range of the runway to land in bad weather or at night or even in the daytime. Usually it will guide the aircraft down to within half a mile of the runway horizontally and 200 feet off the ground vertically. For today I'm going to skip missed approach procedures, but you should know that if pilots can't see the runway, then they will either use auto land if permitted, and depending on what kind of equipment they're operating, or continue to abort the approach and complete a missed approach procedure, usually involving following a set of star charts for the target runway. In Explain 12, you will find that Airport Labs Cessna 172 is capable of ILS approaches, which makes this tutorial both easier to understand and easier to explain. The ILS landing, if you're not going to look at airport approach charts, is a little bit redundant, so I recommend checking out the free chart source ChartFox to assist you. That's the one that I use. When using your instruments, you need to be familiar with the navigation compasses, which allow the tracking of VORs and ILS approaches. This will allow you to tune the ILS frequency to the correct instrument for the approach. You will be able to use this frequency to lock onto the localizer horizontally and then the glide slope vertically. The instrument usually appears next to the radio stack. Be sure to tune navigation 1 frequency to the ILS, as it provides both horizontal and vertical guidance that we previously discussed. Since this is a precision instrument approach, you will need to have a clear understanding of how your instruments work and which ones play a crucial role in the ILS approach. Namely, the barometric setting is fundamental, as this will give you an accurate distance in feet from the ground and the local altitude of the airport. Your vertical speed indicator, when coupled with the navigation 1 guidance, will provide your descent rate toward the runway and can be adjusted to stay on glide slope. You can easily recognize the correct instrument as it will contain two flags: a glide slope flag, abbreviated as GS, and nav flag for the localizer. Each one works with the other, and in minimum IFR conditions, when clouds are present, you will need to understand how to use this, which I'll explain. I set the local QNH for Paderborn Lippstadt, and now I'm about to tune the ILS frequency from the approach chart. The chart here is actually pretty complex, but we can see 111.15 is the ILS frequency, so tune that to navigation 1 and make it active. You will see the compass come alive and the flags have been removed, and now we are almost set to approach for an ILS. You need to finally set the course according to the ILS chart. In this case, 055 degrees. Turn your ILS compass to that heading. Now we are about ready to approach Paderborn Lippstadt for an ILS landing. But wait, we forgot something. What altitude do we have to be at when we approach for the ILS? Well, the approach chart tells you. Below the main diagram of the airport and the approach is a further indication of the glide slope with an angle and starting height. In this case, 3,000 feet is indicated and sufficient, although ATC could vector us above or below that. Since we're coming from the north and have been cleared ILS runway 06 at Paderborn Lippstadt. As we approach Paderborn Lippstadt at 3,000 feet, we need to maintain a visual contact with the instrument and watch for horizontal interception of the localizer. The navigation needle will move side to side, and when centered indicates you are on the localizer. When the glide slope needle moves up or down, it indicates that you are either too high or too low. If centered on both, you are descending down the glide slope correctly. If the glide slope needle moves down, you are too high, and if it moves up, you are too low. Be sure to check your heading is the same as the chart indicated. You look at both your heading indicator and ILS instrument for the readings. Okay everyone, we're on course now, Paderborn Lippstadt ILS runway 06. As per the charts, we have 055 in the course for the navigation, 1 for the ILS. And we're about to intercept that soon. We have been cleared, so we'll be turning to the left and onto a course of 055 or roughly 060 on this one, and that should bring us towards the runway. And we're going to start descending because we're at 3,000 feet. We'll start descending when this needle here, the horizontal bar, moves up or down to indicate the glide slope, and we'll follow the vertical bar for the horizontal guidance, which is the localizer. Now both of them are red at the moment because we're not activating the ILS on the system, but you will see when you intercept it, it's going to come alive. Okay, as you can see, the ILS instrument there has come alive, so we have now some horizontal guidance. So we're going to make a left-hand turn to 055. Take the autopilot off, and we're at 3,000 and we'll maintain this altitude until we get on the glide slope. The glide slope is coming alive now. As you can see, the needle is bouncing around, and that will give us a good indication of where we are. So we're just going to get up for setting for landing here. You can watch my other videos and streams for the information on that. We're going to focus entirely on the instrument as we're coming for the ILS 06. Okay, so now we're on course for the localizer for runway 06, and now we've got to intercept the vertical glide slope. We've still intercepted it, but we're just a little bit high, so we're going to pitch down. And we'll just wait for it to center, and as you can see, if we look out the window, we can in fact see the runway, but because we're instrument flying, we want to be focused on this as well. We are going to use the PABI lights, and we want 2 red, 2 white for a perfect approach. So let's go ahead and slow down some more, and we're going to bring in some flaps. We're just going to do small deviations and small adjustments here to keep this aligned in the center, and the same with the glide slope. As long as they're both in the sort of cross formation, then we're good. So it looks like we've got the cross formation. Again, we're just going to make small adjustments to keep on course. We do have visual, but the easiest kind of approaches, precision approaches for ILS, are used day and night in all weather conditions. You can see the precision in the actual approach itself, so it's giving us the exact vertical and horizontal guidance. The charts are giving us the speed and the altitude. Everything else is pilot skill at this point. Without this precision approach, you might result in, you might have issues landing at this kind of airport if there is bad weather, IFR conditions. As you can see, we're using the instrument guiders glide slope, and we're going to use the PABI lights at this point. Thanks for watching the ILS tutorial by Grantham CPT. If any of this is useful, if you want to see something similar in the future, then please reach out. I'm open to suggestions and welcome anyone with questions or even tips. Take care, Grantham CPT, until the next flight.